Hey, welcome to Mondays, everyone. It's the
Mondays, weekly wrap up. Hello, how are we doing from across the world on YouTube, Twitter, and of course in our beloved GSIC?
We are. So welcome, everyone. We've got a few people on YouTube and in GSIC with questions. So let's get straight into Bitcoin, shall we?
Okay.
So I'm going to just jump into this chart. So this chart, for everyone that follows me on Twitter and in GSIC, will be very familiar. So this is a quantitative chart. So quantitative tightening and easing is what happens when governments print money and then increase interest rates. So it's a thing that happens like every sort of cycle. So right now we're in a shorter period of quantitative easing, which means they've increased the interest rates to a point where the economy is breaking. And so we're going into that easing point. We've seen Tether print 2 billion of tethers so far. So, whoops, there we go. That's an Ethernet. So we have a little bit of money coming into the market and we've seen about. So, it's looking good. So where to from here? Is it going to go straight up? Is it going to go down? Is it going to go sideways? Where is it going? So right now we have a level that we've got here. We go across, which is around about 28 to 29K, depending on what exchange you're trading on. So potentially that's our support in this region. So if we do get a pullback, it's going to be around about that area. I don't see it going back hugely at the moment. And our upper resistance that we can see, which is a diagonal that comes all the way back from the beginning of time right through to the December 17 high, where we hit about 20K, right back down to where we pulled back in June 21, May, June 21. We've got 3 touches to that region and where we've broken through. So this is an untested retest area. So this is where I think we're going to retest. We may break through that. We may not. We'll know very soon, I would say. I do think we're going to get there and have a pullback before we do. So if this is an ABC, then potentially, we're going to see about 45. If it's an A wave, we're going to get all the way, or if it's a one wave, we're going to get all the way to 69 again. So before we go into our bull run. So if we do get that, 5 wave pattern in this region and we get to 69, it's going to be an epic bull run. I'm just going to say. So at the moment, we're sitting in this region. It's a little bit of uncertainty. If you're trading the larger patterns, the next sort of area you need to sort of worry about is between sort of 35, 36-ish. The first sort of resistance comes at about 34,400. So that region is kind of where it's going to be topping out at that point. So if we go down to, where we are right now in this pattern, so we can see that we got our highest point, I think, this year for Bitcoin. About a week ago. And we've had quite a complex pattern for Elliot wave charters. This has been a WXYZ pattern. It overlaps everywhere. It's crazy. Then we've got an ABC where we've had a pullback. Now this looks like an incomplete wave. So on this wave, it should have 5 waves. So when we drop that right back down to the low time frames and we have a look at this wave here, we're looking at this wave. So we've got an A, a B, and then it looks like it's only got 1 wave. We pull it back, it's got many waves. So this is a complete wave pattern. So we could finish here and then continue up. So there is a second more bearish pattern, so to speak. I don't think it's overly bearish. It's just a healthy correction. When we put back to an hour, so we can see that we've got this wave coming up. So if this is our 1 wave, we're in a second wave. And then we've got a 3, a 4, and a 5 to go. So potentially what that looks like is we come back down to that star. We go back up to this resistance. We reject from this resistance. We come back down probably to the 618, and then we go back up, test that wave 1 high or wave 1 low in this case. So that's our wave 4, and then we come back and retest this breakout like resistance, which is now hopefully a support. So if this can turn into a support, then we've got a longer term move up. So potentially we still have that scenario in play until this resistance here and this high is broken. So that's something to be aware of. If you're getting overly bullish or overly bearish, it can go both ways right now. So we don't have a confirmed direction. It's a little bit harder in corrections, as there are so many patterns that it can be. So this is actually my primary. I do think we're going to retest. So, I could be completely wrong. I'm not short. I just want to say in Bitcoin, I'm not short. I'm just buying the dips at the moment. So that's my strategy for the longer term plays. I'm building my bags, and, I'm going from bear to bull, and it's going to be massive.
Interesting stuff. It certainly has felt a lot more bullish with all the news and the fundamental analysis on Bitcoin and the ETFs and all this happening. Do you think that's had an effect on the market at all?
It's definitely had an effect. So, we can see that we do have a more bullish pattern. I want to show you another pattern as well. So this, people on Twitter and in the group will be familiar with this. So this is inverse head and shoulders that has been playing out. So when we have a look at, we're sort of looking for, between 34 and 36 as that next upper resistance. So when we look at this inverse head and shoulders, they're really easy patterns for new people in the market. So basically you just take from the head region, which is about here, and we measure down to the base of where, so this is our shoulders. We measure from that region right down to where the head starts. We take that and we put that on top, and that gives us sort of a region that it's sort of going up to, which is about 35,600. So the same applies for a flag pattern. We take the measurement of the pole, and then we measure the flag pulling down. So this is our flag pole here, and this is the top of our flag. And then we take that from where this would be, where it would break out, and we can see we go to 36K here. So I would say we're kind of looking in this region of 34,400 to about 36, sort of 300, and that's where we're going to get that larger pullback. So it doesn't mean that we're not going to retest this breakout area first. So just be aware. So if you are in margin trades, this is a really tricky area because it can go either way. And I don't know, just be like Lisa, just buy the dips.
Absolutely. And for those of you watching who aren't in the group, Lisa updates every day. I don't know how she does it, on Bitcoin, and provides the latest up-to-date thoughts on that. So always an opportunity to read the posts and figure out what you want to do next with your trades.
Yeah. So whether you're in alts, we look at, anything from Bitcoin dominance to USDT dominance and that sort of thing, because that plays into how this market works. So, and it's all about knowing how the market works as to whether you can be on the right side of a trade.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you wanted to share with the world, or should we get down to business with the group?
Let's jump into some alts with the group. So if you are not in the group and you want to get the alts, quickly join.
Join in. Okay. Well, goodbye.